Do you want your base in the mountains? There's loads of resources, so it's a really efficient place to live. Well, don't you go anywhere because I'm going to show you how to get a great little house that integrates perfectly into a mountain biome and has absolutely everything. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending what time you're watching this next episode from me, Avomance, in my build a house in somewhere I've not normally built a house and see whether or not I can do it on the fly type series. That's not really the name of the playlist, that would be very long. But we are going to do another house. We've done the desert house, we've done the jungle house, both I've never really done before. Now we're going to do a mountain house, and I thought we would do a mountain house kind of sort of on the side-ish of the mountain. I'm making it up as I go along. This is going to be another freestyle build, so it'll be a lot of fun. I can see a little bit terraforming required, but probably not too much actually. So we're going to do a house on the side kind of this mountain bit. This is naturally generated mountain. And I thought, let's do it on there because maybe, just maybe, it might be fun. So let's crack on. Right, with this one, I literally do not know what I'm going to use. So I've got a right old selection of various bits and pieces. Pretty much every stony type stuff you can get. The stuff you get inside your house. A load of different types of wood and some accessories. 2 different types of doors. I literally don't know where I'm going to go with this one. So it could be quite interesting. Let's see what happens. So I don't think I'm going to do this quite as startery as perhaps the last one was. In that we're going to do it a little bit bigger. So we're going to come, I reckon, there. That's going to be our start point. And what I want to do is I want to build a floor that's sort of a circular shape. So I've got to think about how that works. And 2. So that's the 4, a 3, a 3, a 2, 2, and 2. 2 coming out this way, 3 coming out that way, 3, hang on, I've got to think about this, right? So it's 2, 2, so it's 2, then 3, 3, and then that's it, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then this comes in 1, 2, like that. So that's kind of the shape that we're going to go with. It's almost a quarter circle and it's relatively big actually, but that's okay. We're quite happy with it being relatively big. And then we're going to trim it off. Now some of this trim is not going to stay, but some of it will. Remember, I'm making this up as I go along, so I could end up deleting all of this because it's not working for me. I literally don't know, but the idea of this trim is that from the outside it's going to look like it's, you know, kind of edged off properly. I don't do these too sharp edges, it just doesn't work for me. So I'm just going to do that like that, and then we'll pop that there. Okay, so that's perfect, but underneath we've obviously got this floor, so we'll sort that out fairly shortly probably, and we just want to fill the floor in. So I'm just going to fill in this floor and I'll be back when I have done that. Right, so I've spammed down just a few torches because if you're building this in survival, obviously you don't want the mob spawning underneath, and that's going to be pretty dark. And I've just taken a little bit of the mountain out just to give me a little bit more room. Now what we're going to do is we're going to decide where the front door is going to go. And I actually want to put the front door kind of offset on this side. So not in the middle, offset to the left. So I'm going to come in here because I'm going to give myself a little bit of space, I think. And I'm going to put the door there. I'm going to go with oak for now, but these things change, so I don't know if that's how it's going to finish. And I'm going to take out those 2, and I'm just going to see what it looks like with that, because I think we're going to use steps to bring the entrance down, but I don't want it to be just flat. So I've got to think about how we're going to do this without it being too flat. So I'm just going to put those like that. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to get a platform. I'm not going to be able to do it like that, And I'm going to... Oh, that's a half, obviously. So that's not going to work. So we can make this work. Let's get that. There, like that. In fact, let's make that an upside down step. There we go. That's better. Then we can put them like there, like that. They can come down. I think this is probably a better way of doing it. And that. So let's bring that down like that. That's like that. And then that comes down like that. Just put a little bit of terraforming here just to give myself some ground. When you do this, maybe you'll already have some ground, or just lob yourself down some dirt. That's all you need. That will do. Okay, so that is kind of the step down. It's not quite right yet, but we are going to make it right. And I'm going to make it right, I think, with some dark oak log. And we're going to come up to the side of that. There. That's also going to come up there like that. I think that needs to come one higher, obviously. And then we're going to have with that one higher. And then we'll have... Does that need to be high like that? I think we are rocking that a little bit. Okay, so let's get some... I'm just going to see whether this fence looks any good next to it. I'm a little worried it's going to be too light, but we might be okay, you know. That might actually work. Let's pop that there. And that fence goes there, up and up. Then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. There we go. So we've got fencing. I think that looks a bit daft there, don't we? We need that to go higher. Maybe. We might come back to that. I'm not entirely certain. I'm a little concerned that this is open here. So I might just pop that there like that. Which means I'm probably going to need to put that there and there, which again gives us the same problem. I'm going to come back to that because I'm not entirely sure how we are going to do that. So we'll make that prettier. Don't panic. And to kind of match up the postage that we're putting there, we're going to put dark oak either side of this. And we want it to be 3 high. That works. Yep, 3 high. And we're going to get stone brick stairs upside down above the door, because this is, after all, a mountain house. So it needs to be, relatively speaking, quite stony. So that's what we're going to try and achieve. But I do want to get dark oak loggage all the way around it at the same time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on kind of various corners like that. Is that going to work? That might work. Yep, let's go with that. And then on the end as well, let's get rid of that and pop that in like that. Okay, so now we're starting to get a certain amount of structure. So I'm thinking on the fly again here. So let's get some dark oak wood and just run it kind of so as it follows the inside of this relatively closely. Now I'm using dark oak wood because it obviously has the grain in the right place like that, and you don't have bits of kind of end log sticking out next to you trying to offend you, because that's not what you want at all. And we're going to come on this side We're going to take that out. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to do exactly the same dark oak all the way across there. So that's the beginning of the side of the house. And now we need to bring in some stone on the inside. So I'm just going to use coggle. Coggle? What on earth is coggle? We're going to use cobble instead of coggle. I find coggle causes all kinds of lag problems. So we're going to use cobble instead. And we're just coming along the inside of these logs. And if we've got a log like that, we need to come on the inside of it there. Like that. And sometimes you go wrong, and that's fine. Just make sure you go right. Leave that bit open, and then we'll come out there. And then what I want to do is I want to take that out so as we've got consistency with the cobble. And I quite like what that has done. So that is stage 2. So what I think we're going to do is on this next level, we're going to come out one, which means we can do something that looks really odd until after we have done it, which is put some spruce, which is another wood that we've not actually used yet. It's a right old mixture. It's a wood cocktail, what can I tell you? All the way around like that. And then we're going to get the stone brick stairs again, and we're going to do another row and see how this looks. My guess is it's going to look really weird to start with, and then when we play with it, we'll perhaps get a little bit more of a feel for how we're going to finish. So just get this all the way around. Oh, not like that. To there. Is that going to work? Yeah, so that we've got kind of a flat front to the house with a curving around of the outside. And what we're going to then do is we can have another level of flooring, which means we can take this bit out completely and bring this floor in like this, but don't completely fill it. We're going to make it into a kind of a mezzanine. But let's bring it all the way around here until we get to, I think, there. Now you could do this in top half slabs, of course. That would give you much less wood used up without question, but I quite like the thickness of the block when you're looking at the edge of the mezzanine. Sometimes it works quite well for me, and when we do the steps that go up, it's also going to help us there too. So that is kind of the second half of the mezzanine. Now we need to build the second level of the structure, and this one, it's going to be wood. So we've got entirety of stone on the bottom, and we're going to texture that up in a sec. This one wants to be entirety wood, and I'm going to keep this as an overhang. So let's just come around one level, see if this works. If it doesn't, we can take it out, but I think we might be all right. Need to work out how we're going to integrate it into the side of the mountain as well a little bit, because I'm not entirely happy with that. Get your wall in here. And I think for this one, we're going to go 3 high before we start to finish off the edge. And again, the mountain is going to get in our way. Clearly it's already got in our way here, so we need to work out how we're going to bring it around, and I think the best way for us to do that is there, like that. So that is officially the shape of the house. Yes, okay, so now we can get some different material. Again, I'm going to go for stone, and we can start to think about how we can overhang this again. I think we need to go for a... This is going to be too low, isn't it? Let's have a look. Yes, that's way too low. So let's get that out of the way and go up just one more with the spruce. It looks really blocky at the moment, people. I know it is going to look blocky for a while, and then it's like one of those things where all of a sudden it just goes boom and you are there. And that's exactly what you need. So we're going to come up like that, and now we're going to come with some upside down steps all the way around, just to keep the stone theme. to edge around this bit here. Coming along, and in, and in, and in. Okay, so if we then take a step back, you can see we're getting like a bit of a mountain shack. It is entirely unsupported. We're going to fix it. Don't worry. It is not going to stay unsupported. And what we've also got to do is we've got to get some vision going. So we're going to open up that on the side there. And we're also going to open up, how far across do we want to go? So that's got 2 there. That's got 3. So let's make that like that. And then we need to take out a little bit of this mountain, otherwise it's going to cause us some problems. Okay, that's brilliant. So we've got that part of the mezzanine floor there. We want to probably bring that floor across so as the window is accessible, and I think that's probably going to work for us. So we're now going to put on a roof, and we're going to put a gradual roof onto it. Now the reason I'm going to go for gradual is because mountains, if you look, kind of the slopes, generally speaking, are relatively gradual. So I'm going to actually go even further with the gradual and use slabs. And we're going to ignore the fact that we're roofing over mountain at the moment, because we need to just get the roof in place. Once the roof's in, we can then start to worry about how the mountain is going to affect us. And what I'm going to do first off is I'm just going to run around the edge of the shape, because I want to keep the shape followed. I think it will look a little bit odd if we come off shape before it's too early. So come in. Anything that's got something in the way, we're going to do that with. And then the next one comes around and again follows the shape again. So we've got a basic structure, and it kind of looks like the house has been sucked into the side of the mountain, with the mountain absorbing all of the sides of it here. And that's great. That's how we're looking for. But inside, it looks a right mess. So we need to sort that out. So we're going to go inside, and we're basically going to hide. We're going to use walling to partition away essentially the bits that we don't want. But before we do that, we need to light them up. Otherwise, we're just going to get mobs constantly spawning in the areas that we don't want them to, and they're just going to be growling at us forever, and that's not a lot of fun. And what we're going to do is we are going to get ourselves stone brick, I think, and where we have got side of the mountain on the bottom here, I'm just going to build this up with stone brick. And similarly, when it comes in diagonally, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm just going to see what the first floor looks like. There we go. Right, so it's a relatively low front area, but we're happy with that. It's absolutely fine. We've got kind of indented space all around there, and we're going to do something with that in a minute. Make that like that for now. Then we need to think about what the upstairs is going to do. So again, I think that what we need to do is we need to gain exactly the same level of wall. First off, hang on, let's get that like that. So this wall has got to be basically following this line all the way up. It's not going to let us have that there because that's a step, but that's okay. Build that up there. And that's the idea. So once I've done that, I'll be back. So we've completed that wall. It all looks very dark. Where there were gaps, we've just put another half slab, which is an advantage of using half slabs when you do a roof. You can just slip half slabs in and they fit absolutely beautifully. So now we're going to do the stairs to this second level. And I'm going to do that using stone brick again. I think it works quite well in this instance. So we're going to put a row of 3 like that. Then we're going to get 1, 2 like that. Bring that stair underneath. Get rid of that torch. Come out there. There and there. So now we've got nice stone bricks all the way up to the stairs to the second level. That works very, very nicely. So we've got, well, it's the startings of some interesting shapes inside, but what we've not got is any real detail. This hole here is to go off to be part of a mine. I'm going to sort that out in just a minute, but first off I want to do just a little bit of the interior. So first things first, we're just going to get some of the basics in. So a basic would include, obviously, a bed. We'll put the bed just by the window because it's always nice to have a bed by the window. Let's bring in a double chest on either side of the bed. That's always good. And we'll stick a crafting table right at the end there like that. And we'll get a furnace at the other end, and that furnace array can go up 4 high, and then get more of chests, and they can go up either side like that. I'll put some detail in there in just a minute, and we'll also put some detail in there in a minute as well. So that's the beginnings of the home and the house, but we want to get more storage in, obviously, and given that this is half slabs at the top, they will open quite happily. So we've got that there, and there, and there. So we've got absolutely stacks of storage. Now, because this is a mountain home, there's probably likely going to be an awful lot of rocks going on. So we're going to have lots of storage for lots of stone in here. Actually, I'm going to put 4 more right there too, because I think they belong. So we've done a little bit of extra work here. We've put in a potion station. This is the only bit of water you can actually get to. It's been rimmed off by the fences, got a little bit of a table, some storage for kind of empty or water bottles, and also potions. So there's your brewing stand. We've got nice fencing coming all the way around. Downstairs we've put in a nice enchanting station. That's a full maxed powered, overpowered enchanting station with an anvil, some more storage, and of course, if you're going to have a home in the mountains, there's bound to be a little bit of cold. So to stop me feeling a little bit choppy, we've put in a fire, and it's got a 2 high netherrack block there. So now what I want to do is I want to make these windows bigger, because these windows are not big enough, frankly. So I'm just going to get these out like that. I'm going to use some grey stained glass, I think, because it's sort of in keeping with the mountain rocky theme, isn't it? So let's keep that going there like that. Pop that there, that can go there. So we've now got a couple of windows, and they work quite nicely. So what I'm going to see, I'm not so sure about the way this is off center there. I might need to do something with that, although I might be able to get away with it if I am careful. But so that is the window expansion on the inside and outside. Obviously, it goes both ways. That's the whole point of a window. It has 2 sides. So we're now going to get a little bit of window dressing by putting some of these shutters in first. Both windows. Right, so now I want to take a bit of a step back, because it's not actually changed particularly on the outside yet, but it will. And now we're going to put in, wherever I've got a corner, I'm going to put in a little trellis to add some texture. It's very difficult to get texture into wood, but that works quite well. We're now going to change around some of the stone, but almost none. Just the faintest hint of stone changing is all we're going to do. So we're going to put in literally like 1 there, 1 there. That's all we're going to do there. On this side we're going to put in just a bit of andesite. Here we'll put in some stone brick and some stone there. There we'll put in a bit of andesite, and there, and there, and we'll do andesite and stone. So it's very, very subtle, but it is there. We still need to do more. That is not finished, but I think we're starting to get there. My next task is to make it look like it's not floating in the air. So we're going to achieve it by using stone pillars. So I'm just going to, where this corner comes in, I'm going to pop a stone pillar in there, and I'm going to pop another one in there. But what we do need to do is we want to lose that floor. We don't want to be able to see all of this wood. So what we're going to do is we're just going to, using a load of stone brick slabs, we're just going to cover over the entirety of the wood, so as we can see that it is stone all the way. It's a very stone brick bias build, this, you can see, but it's worth it. So I'll be back when I've done this bit. So we have nearly finished. Just pop in the last two in there. We've put these stone pillars down, and I think we actually need a stone pillar at the back as well. So I need to find myself a spot that's going to be appropriate. I reckon there, to bring down another stone pillar for support, and then we can fill that in there so as it is complete. So that's better. We've got support now. I don't feel like it's going to cave in. That would be very, very bad. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to pop on north, south, east and west of these three, whoops, not there though, of these three pillars. We're just going to pop a half slab, or a slab, not a half slab, and then we are going to, underneath it, do an upside down cobblestone stair for some contrast, because we've got way too much brickage, and too much brickage is dull. We need to just break it up a little bit, and the cobble texture breaks it up beautifully. So we're doing it with that. We're going to do it on this one as well. So it's a little bit more of a kind of a gothic-y looking pillar, and then at the bottom we're going to match it up because it has to mirror, otherwise my teeth will formally itch. So we're just going to put that around there like that, and there. What I'm therefore going to do is I'm going to take that out because I need that to match up there, and then we are going to take that out, put that there, and then that can have at the back like that. Okay, so that works. Let's take another step back. So yeah, so you can see that's quite nice the way it supports the structure. I just want to experiment a little bit to see how it looks if I do a little bit more cobble breakup. I'm not sure that's going to work. I'm going to leave it for now. Actually, I'm going to leave it for now because it might not be awful. I might come and take it off in a minute when I've decided that it is in fact awful, but at the moment I'm going to leave it there and see whether or not I get used to it. What we do have to do is remove that back wall, otherwise that is not going to work at all. Okay, that's not going to work either. Get that there like that. Okay, so let's just check that. How do we think? What do we think? What do we think? We think that, oh, it definitely needs to come down one more, otherwise it's not symmetrical. We think if we come at this from a distance, we think that it's not working. I was trying to persuade myself that it was, but it just wasn't working. It's too sticky outy, and as a result I am removing each and every one. What I might do though, however, what might look alright is a button. Let's try a wooden button first. Let's see whether a wooden button would work. This looks like it's going to be better. Definitely. Okay, so now we're farming. We are absolutely bang on with the button being the better choice. There we go. So let's come back out again. Oh, that is so much better. That's so much better. Much happier with that. Right. Now, I mentioned farming then, and that's made me think, hang on a minute, we've got nothing to actually eat now, have we? So what I'm going to do, have I got a bucket of water? No, I don't. So I'm going to just get myself a bucket of water, and we're going to shove a bucket of water under there. Fill that up like that, and then we're going to ho. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. I think that's nice. We're then going to get ourselves another bucket of water. We're going to shove it. No, not water. Don't waterlog your block, Avomance. That's just rubbish. Now put that back, for goodness sake, and get that there. Pop that there, and then we can hoe right the way across there like that. And then if we then do this one and we put in a, have I lost my water bucket again? Oh man. Right, let's put water bucket there. That goes back there, and then we can get ourselves another hoeage like that. And I'm not going to do any more. I think that is fine. And then we can get ourselves some seeds. I always use seeds just as a default. You could, of course, plant carrots or anything you wanted. But let's use seeds just as a default to demonstrate the fact that we have planted stuff up. And that means we can grow some wheat, and that will be lovely. And I need my torches, because if you've not got torches around your farm, it ain't going to work. And I am going to put, because I'm just really funny about putting, oh, don't do that. I'm really funny about putting oak fences, or fences in general, around my farms, because I just prefer the way they look. For whatever reason, that just broke that. Why won't that let me plant? That's interesting, is it? I've never come across that before. But anyway, we'll not worry about that right now. I will worry about it, but I'm just not going to tell you that I'm worrying about it. So, and then we're going to put some torches on the fences, because I find that's just the nicest looking way of doing it. Which means we can get rid of these torches now. And that is a working farm. That's perfect. So we've placed a roof over the walkway. I was really worried about these logs not being the same height. So I've managed to solve that by shoving ourselves just a little stone cover that does a number of things actually. But what it mainly does is it allows me to have my logs around about the same height. And we've got a nice covered walkway there. What I've also done is we've put torches kind of in a holder in an item frame, which is like that. And the way I've done that is I've got my torch. If you've never done this before, this is dead easy. Shove your torch on, then get your item frame, and don't highlight the torch, highlight the block the torch is on, and the item frame will go behind the torch. The torch is not in the item frame, because if you put a torch in an item frame, it looks like that, yeah? So the torch is not in the item frame, but then you can put something in the item frame. And if you put a trapdoor in the item frame, you get a torch in a torch holder. And I really quite like that. So that's what we're going to go for to light up the outside there. I was going to do a little bit more on the roof, but frankly, I don't think I need to. I'm quite happy. So we're just going to go with that. So let's venture inside, because we've done just a little bit of extra detail on the inside. We've obviously got ourselves some pressure plates there, so as the door closes behind us. We've put some pictures in. We've got all sorts of lighting. Our mine goes down that way, dead easy access, and we've got a door so we don't get raided. I've expanded the fireplace. I was just a little mindful that if you've not got fire ticks turned off, your floor could go up, and that is not something that you want in your life. I've come up here, I've put a bit of a carpet in. It just looks a little bit nicer. And then finally, a little bit more greenery. We've got our portal, our nether portal, which I'm just going to light up, and that sits there beautifully. So I think, oh, chandelier as well. which suits perfectly. I'm going to be honest, there was a little part of me there that wondered whether or not this was going to turn out okay, but actually it's not so bad. It's relatively in keeping with the mountainside. Maybe we could have used a little bit more stone perhaps, that might have been reasonable, but I quite like the way that the wood and the stone is integrated into the side of the mountain. It looks okay. So not too tricky really, not a starter home, but it's pretty much got everything you would need for a mountainside house that's elevated off the floor. I do like my stilts at the minute, don't I? If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I'll keep on making them. Also, what other biomes would you like to have a house in? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club. I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.